Good morning. It is a pleasure to be with you all this morning. I will say, as I walked in first thing this morning and entered the meeting room, I was greeted by someone saying, "Oh, great, our victim's here." So I got to test out the sound system this morning before I walked in. Our reading today is a poem called "The Well of Grief" by David White. Those who will not slip beneath the still surface on the well of grief, turning down through its black water to the place we cannot breathe, will never know the source from which we drink, the secret water cold and clear, nor find in the darkness glimmering the small round coins thrown by those who wished for something else. Thank you for that beautiful music. So my message for today focuses on a query and exploration of the role of faith in private lives and public spaces, of how to one another and for one another we must tell the truth, and how we make that truth bearable. If there is one thing motherhood teaches you, or at least teaches me, is how little I actually know. And now I can remember taking AP biology my junior year of high school and, being a rather self-assured, maybe a little egocentric 16-year-old, I had the thought, I might actually know more than my parents. I obviously did not. I may have known a little bit more about mitosis or epigenetics or something in that very specific area, but about everything else, they had me. And I'm getting my payback in the form of my ultra-sarcastic 9-year-old child. A few weeks ago, after I received the second call that day from the school nurse informing me that Ava Gray was complaining about a headache or a stomach ache or overactive allergies, I decided I'm just going to pick her up. I could see the signs of anxiety overwhelming her after she had spent the weekend away from home, and thankfully my schedule was flexible that afternoon. So I picked her up early. And we went home and built a fort in our den and snuggled up with hot chocolate and watched a movie, which was The Grinch in April, because we watch it all year. And we are fortunate enough to live on just the other side of the Guilford Woods. And so I had this great idea. Let's go walk in the woods. Because I don't think there's anything better to help calm your spirit and recenter and breathe than to be in nature. I thought it was a brilliant plan. And then that precious, vivacious, non-filtering child looked me in the eyes and said, "Mom, I have bad allergies. It's springtime, and you're telling me to go walk in the woods. I know you have a brain." It's one of those times in motherhood where I had to breathe and utter to myself, "I love my child, I love my child, I love my child." I thought I was doing everything right in that moment. I thought I was giving her exactly what she needed. But she was right, and so was I. Nature is wonderful when you feel anxious and overwhelmed, and also, my child does have terrible allergies that are hard to manage at this time of year. That probably wasn't the right answer then, because solutions are hard. Knowing what is right is hard. Life is messy and complicated and tragic and awe-inspiring and gut-wrenchingly beautiful. And we need that wisdom of others to remind us, maybe hopefully a little kinder than my child did, of other things that are happening around us, of allowing us to see beyond ourselves. Because even with our best intentions, we don't have the full picture. Because we have to tell the truth to each other, to be honest about what is before us, even when what we have to say isn't pleasant. How do we hold space for what seems unbearable, while also keeping ourselves alive to the wonder of this world. I chose this poem today because it names that need to be aware of pain, to acknowledge the fact that we can't turn away, we can't shield ourselves or ignore. I said once in my younger years that I hate human emotions. I used to beg my parents, please don't sit me down and tell me what I did wrong. I don't want to talk about it. Like, just ground me for months, take my car, take my phone. I don't want to talk about it. And none of this was actually true. Not really. I didn't really want to lose my car or my phone or be grounded for months as a teenager. I didn't really hate human emotions. It's more that to feel, to fully be alive to all that is happening, can sometimes feel like it's going to tear us apart. It can feel like a place where we cannot breathe. And yet, we find something there, something glimmering, catching our eyes, promising us that this vast expanse of darkness isn't all that there is, giving us a reminder that we are not alone. Others have been here, others are here, hands outstretched, hoping, making way where there seems no way. To hold this and also wish for something more, something different, something better. What does it mean to tell the truth and make that truth bearable? To be accountable and honest and vulnerable with and for one another. Children's author Kate D. Camillo, in talking about Charlotte's Web and author E.B. White, comments, "In loving the world, he told the truth about it, its sorrow, its heartbreak, its devastating beauty. He trusted his readers enough to tell them the truth. And with that truth came comfort and the feeling that we are not alone. I think our job is to see and to be seen. I think our job is to love the world. I think our job is to love the world. To tell its truth and not hide behind pleasantries or beg for some other form of being. To see and be seen. To be alive to all that is." John Donahue states, "Love alone can awaken the divine within you. Love is anything but sentimental. In fact, it is the most real and creative form of human presence. Love is the threshold where divine and human presence ebb and flow into each other. Love is the means by which we hold the truth." And it can be so easy, and it is not easy, right, to find that love right now. It can be hard. It can be easy to lose ourselves in fear or discomfort, to look at the world and only find the pain. It can be easy to turn away, to look at that still surface of water, scary and unclear, and simply go, nope, I'm not going to touch that one. I'm just going to step over here and walk away and leave that right there because I can. It can be so easy out of anger to jump into that water so sure of our own rightness that we miss the encounter we find. We miss humanity. We miss the glimmering coins of what has come before. We forget to listen. But to examine that eerily calm water, knowing the turbulence that lies beneath, knowing what will greet us in the plunge, and to make that choice because we value each other, to act out of love, to widen our perspectives in hope of creating something better, something more, to tell the truth about this world, about our lives, about our faith, to be open to the pain and grace and all that is life, to be aware of the voices and lives of others. This work starts with ourselves, but it comes alive together. As Rabbi Sharon Brewis states, faith communities need to be spiritually alive and morally courageous at the same time. We must tell the truth, because out of love it is bearable, because together we make it bearable, because we hold the light for one another in our work for a more just and compassionate world.